this. Great evening, great evening, great evening. My name is Pacheco. As always, I am grateful to be your host, grateful to be here with you guys. But tonight is definitely not about me. It is about we, and we are about to be blessed by not only someone that is a legend in this company that has helped thousands of people around this world. He is a world-renowned author, international speaker, an amazing father to his 3 beautiful children. He is an amazing friend, leader of leaders, internationally requested around the world. Mr. Matt Morris, my dear friend, my brother from another, I am grateful you are here with us. How are you?
I am awesome. Thanks for having me on. Always excited to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Always the pleasure is mutual. I know that, we are taking time away from your family, away from everything else that you got going on. And I'm just grateful that you're here with us this evening. And we were talking about, the mindset of just a reset. And as we are gearing up for the SRT this weekend, I know you are going to be set in San Antonio on fire. We're talking a lot about having that mindset for the new year. And I'm just like, you know what? We got to share this with everyone. And it's great for people to hear from not only someone that has done this once, but that has done this over and over in this industry, earning 7 figures yearly over and over again, but more than anything, positioning hundreds of thousands of people around the world for their life to be better and different because you've implemented certain systems, because you've adopted a certain mindset. And we're excited here. I'm going to be in full student mode today, taking copious notes as you lead us like usual. And take it away, Matt. Thank you so much for being on with us tonight.
All right. Awesome. Very cool. I appreciate that. Yeah, excited about this time of year. It's always my favorite time of year because it's like everyone's just in kind of reset mode, and I always find myself like recharged at the beginning of the year. And, you said something that just reminded me of something, one of my early mentors said was, 90% of so you said 50% of your success is attitude. The other half is attitude. And, what I found is it's so true. Like the how-tos and the tactics, they're always there. But if you don't get the mind right, the tactics are not going to work. The tactics are not going to show up. The opportunity is not going to show up if you don't get the mindset right and if you don't get everything wired the way you need it to be wired. And so in this time of year, like when it comes to, the beginning of the year, everyone, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people are excited. They're like, yeah, this year is going to be different. But like, let's look at the history, right? So if you look at the end of 2022, was it really much different than the end of 2021? The end of your 2021, was it much different than the end of 2020? Your end of 2020, was it much different than the end of 2019? For the most people, it's kind of like Groundhog Day, where every year is basically the same thing. And what I found over a lot of trial and error over a lot of years, and I've been blessed to earn a lot of money and have a lot of success, I also feel like my advantage, and one of the reasons why I've been able to have a lot of success is because I struggled for so long. Some of you know my story. I struggled for 5 years before I got to a full-time income. And if there was anyone who was like beyond frustrated, it was definitely me. It was like seeing so many people having success and I just wasn't, and people who joined after me passed me up, and feeling defeated and beat down, and wondering what they have that I don't. I was just sharing a story, a Facebook post, and it was I had been in network marketing for a little while, and there was this guy who I met in the hallway, and he was, let's just say, not a very sharp guy, like super redneck, like long straggly hair, definitely didn't have all his teeth, and very thick redneck accent. It was just like, and I remember thinking in the hall, like I just kind of ran into him. It was like a hi, how are you? Like we didn't talk, but enough to like connect. And I just remember thinking, man, like, how is that guy ever going to have success in network marketing? And so anyway, I didn't think much of it. I go, and like a couple hours later, they have recognition. And the rank was like the equivalent of like, I don't know, 80 people on your team, maybe like, I don't know, 80 to 100 people, something like that. And like, as I'm looking at everyone getting on stage, who do I see? It's that exact same guy is getting on stage, and I'm like, fuck me. What is wrong with me? That guy is like got nearly 100 people on his team probably, and I'm here by myself. What the hell is wrong with me? And then I remember it was like the next quarter, I went to the same event, and same guy got recognized at the next rank, and I was still there by myself. And the next rank was like 200 people on the team. And I just remember thinking, man, if that guy can do it and I can't, I just have a disconnect. Like there's just something about me that's broken. Like I don't have the right personality for it. And I can't tell you how frustrated I was. And some of you may feel that way, like just in life. And that's how I felt, because I had tried network marketing. I tried other things. I just couldn't seem to get anything working. And you know, I'll tell you a handful of things that really made the difference for me. And you know, we'll start off slow and we'll add to it. And the first thing is like, what do you really want, right? I mean, the first thing is intention. So for 2023, what do you want your life to look like at the end of the year? And the more crystal clear vision you can get for that, the more powerful the reality will be, the more likely you'll achieve it. So the more clear the picture is, the more likely you'll achieve it. So most people don't achieve much in life because they don't really have a vision for anything. They're not setting goals. They don't have a clear vision. And it's no surprise they live every year is kind of like the previous. And so my suggestion to you is really get crystal clear, like create a vision for 2023. Come at the end of 2023, what do you want your life to look like? And, you know, this is something that I do every year. And, you know, last year, I had, at the end of 2022, I had gotten in the phase where I wasn't having quite as much adventure as I wanted. And I just made a goal, like, all right, this year I'm going to take a vacation every single month. Like I just got super clear. Now, did I hit all my goals? No, absolutely not. I didn't hit all my goals, but I had so much freaking fun this year because I integrated fun into my lifestyle. I had a number of goals that, like one specific, like a financial goal that I set for myself. And I was like, man, this is going to be a stretch goal if I hit that by December. Ended up hitting it August or September, hit the goal, and then far exceeded it last month. And so it's exciting, right? And I know I never would have achieved it had I not hit it. And so one is just setting goals in the different areas of your life. Some of your goals are going to be results based. I would recommend many of your goals be action based. And so this year, as an example, one of my action based goals is just on growth. It's to read 2 books a month, right? I'm already done it. I'm on the 3rd. I left it in the other room. I'm on the 3rd book for January, right? And so I know that where I ultimately want to be is going to be based on my own personal growth. And I know this about myself. And if I'm not reading consistently, if I'm not consistently developing myself, my level of motivation fades. My personal momentum and whatever I'm doing in life always fades. And if I look at people who have hit a plateau or have gone backwards, you can usually point to a lack of personal development over the last 60 days. You know, you get off the personal development train and your life just seems to go backwards. And so for me, I know my creativity increases dramatically when I'm reading. My goals, I'm more motivated. If I find that I'm just not as motivated as I normally am, it's usually I'm not reading, I'm not growing, I'm not filling myself with the right information. And so I would set goals for your level of growth. I'd set goals for your action in secret. Like, what are the things you're going to be doing in secret? What is the rank that you want to be achieving? What's the lifestyle that you want to be living? Also, from a life standpoint, what do you want your relationships to look like? Set a very clear vision and write out a story. Like it's December 2023, and write out your life. Like I am. Maybe your weight, maybe your level of vibrancy and health. What does your relationship look like? I'm, thrilled because my lover and I have date nights every single week, right? So you have your goals, and then the manifestation of that goal is the vision. And so we're more in love than we've ever been before, right? My kids and I are insert, whatever is appropriate for you, right? And do that in different areas of your life, right? And you're just going to find that you're much more fulfilled and happy when you have those goals in different areas of life. And so create a 1-year vision, get very crystal clear. And here's my advice is read it every single morning. Every morning, read that vision, because what happens so many cases is you create this vision and you're inspired by it. And you're like, oh, that would be amazing. But it seems so far-fetched, right? Because you write it one time. And so the power of a vision, it's almost like the power of an affirmation. Every time you read a vision and you're reading it in the affirmative as if it's already true, it's programming yourself that this is your identity, right? This is who I am. And I am just so clear on this. And I talk about it a lot because what really changed the game for me was when I finally changed my identity. See, I thought I wasn't very smart. I thought I was too young. I didn't have any credibility. I'm obviously terrible at network marketing. I've never been in any kind of leadership role, so I suck at leadership. The one time I ran for student council, I lost, right? So I had all of these negative things that I just believed were true about me based on my previous experience and my programming. So I had a bad experience. I created a story that was negative, and I reinforced that negative identity. And what happens is there's the law of consistency and commitment that says we're going to be committed to remaining consistent with who we believe we are. And who we believe we are is based on all the experiences and the crap we've said about ourselves over all the years, and also the crap that other people have said about us. So we take that on to be true, and we never step into our power. We never act as the powerful leader because we just don't believe that's who we are. And what changed the game for me is when I finally got awareness of the fact that the bullshit story that I had been telling myself about me over all these years was just shit I made up, right? Yes, I failed in the past, but how many other people have failed in the past and turned out to be multi-millionaires? And I said, you know what, if other people can go through hell like I have and come out the other side as a multi-millionaire, as a winner, as a champion, then I'm going to do the exact same thing. And so I started blocking all the negative crap and just refusing to say anything about myself that I didn't want to be absolutely true. So instead of saying, I'm an idiot, I'm too young, why am I such an idiot? Instead of saying all those things, I just refused. Number one, I had the awareness that I was negatively programming myself, and that was my reality was a reflection of that. So I said, no more. I'm not going to say that. If it pops into my mind, if I get those negative triggers, and sometimes I still get them, right? Every once in a while, it'll still pop in, way less than before. But when I'd say, gosh, I'm such an idiot, I just change it. I said, you know what? I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. So anytime the negative thing would come in, I'd just flip it. I'd flip the script. And I'd say it 3 times in the affirmative. I'd affirm what I wanted 3 times to offset the negative. I don't even like saying the negative, thing that I used to say, because I just don't like saying it. I do it because it's a training thing, but I don't even like it because I feel like it's a negative entry into my subconscious. See, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. It acts on what it's told most of the time. And most of the time, we're not telling ourselves the most empowering, powerful thing. So I started telling myself the most amazing, powerful things, and then it started to manifest. See, I did an exercise one time. Someone said, if you could be anyone in the world, who would you be? Write it down. So I started writing down, all right, if I could be anyone, I would be this. And it was amazing because one of the biggest stretch things that I put on the list at the time was that I was a best-selling author. And I did put millionaire, I put best-selling author. And at the time it was like, I barely passed English class. There's no way I'd ever write a book or be a best-selling author. But I'm like, the guy speaker, he was like, just if it comes to your mind and you want it, put it down. And I put it down, and like that was harder to believe than becoming a millionaire. Today, I've had like 12, 13, 14 books that have hit bestseller. Like, it's crazy to me to think of how limited my belief is. And the same thing will be true for you if you'll take this on. The things that you think, and maybe it's like making 100,000 a year, making $250,000 a year. That may sound so far-fetched, But one day there'll be a time, I want you to remember this moment where you look back on it and you go, holy shit, I can't believe I didn't believe I could make $250,000 a year. See, the reality is making $1 million a year was not that hard. If I look at the things that I did to make $1 million a year, they weren't that hard. The hard thing was believing it could actually happen to me. And now that I've made $1 million a year, I can't believe, I never imagined, like, I can't believe I thought it was so hard. And listen, and you may be thinking, I'm never going to get there. And I would have said the same thing, the exact same thing, because of where I was, because of the programming, because we hold on so hard and so fast to our bullshit identity. And I say bullshit because that's what it is. You've made it up based on the things that you've said, based on the experiences that you've had. Maybe your relatives or friends or whoever, they've said shit about you. And then you take it on to be true, but there's no truth to it other than the fact that you accept it. When you finally stop accepting the bullshit, then a powerful identity starts to manifest. And you start to say, holy cow, I really can be this. You start to believe the vision because you're reading it every single day, every single day, every single day in the affirmative as if it's true. You start to believe it, right? And once you start to believe it, then the actions start to show up. And you wonder, like, all of a sudden, people are signing up. And I'm saying the same shit I've always said. But now people are jumping on board. Why? Because you're showing up different. Because you've released the crap. And you're programming yourself and you're creating this powerful identity. So number one is we set our goals, obviously. Create that 1-year vision. Read it every single morning. Every morning, read it as if it's already true. Take some time and write down 10 things of who do you want to be this year. The most important part of any goal is not the things that you have to do. It's not the action items, right? Obviously, you have to do the things. Right? A goal is useless without the action, okay? But here's the real question, is when you write whatever that goal is, when you write that vision, the question is, who do I have to be in order to manifest that? Who do I have to be to manifest that? And this is the question, and write it down, at least 10 things. This is your homework, 10 things you write down. I am fill in the blank, right? And so for mine, as it relates to network marketing, it was, I'm the leader that every other leader wants to follow. Okay, that was probably the number one thing, because I got to the point where I could recruit people. I just couldn't recruit powerful leaders. I had no duplication on my team. And, John Maxwell had said, there's 2 types of math. There's follower math, which is addition. There's leader math, which is multiplication. And I'm like, wow, this is why I only grow by addition. Is because I'm only recruiting followers. So if I want to recruit leaders, I need to become a powerful leader who recruits other leaders. And so that became going into every meeting. That's who I said, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. I refuse to accept anything less than this. This is who I am, right? And this is how I showed it. And I started saying things that I never said before. Like, when you lock arms with me, if you're coachable and teachable, I will not let you fail. We'll go crush this together. Are you ready to get started? And people started saying yes. Why? Because I believed. I started stepping into that power and believing that I had the leadership potential, and they felt it. My energy showed up different, okay? And so who's the ultimate person that you want to be? Now, having said all this, right, you get motivated, you set some goals, you have some external, like you listen to Pam on the morning calls and you get fired up, and then 3 hours later, you're like, what the hell happened? Okay, after this call tonight, maybe you're fired up, and the next morning you wake up and it's like, what happened? And I'm going to tell you one of 2 of the biggest secrets, right? One, and it's probably the most common misconception, is feeling yourself into action is largely a lie, right? I remember listening to someone years ago, and it was like, don't make calls unless you're in the right state. And so I just never made any calls because I never felt confident. I never felt excited. Like, don't do presentations unless you're in a right pumped up state. And I'm like, well, I'm not pumped up. So that was my excuse to not go do presentations, not to go do prospecting calls. Here's the reality. If you want power, so what we'll talk about tonight is power, not in a dictatorial sense, but you having power to manifest whatever the hell you want, okay? Power comes from acting yourself into a feeling. acting yourself into a feeling. You don't feel yourself into action, you act yourself into a feeling. So I know every time I do a training, I get more excited. Every time I do a presentation, I sell myself again. I'm more sold out. After every presentation I do, I'm like, damn, I can't believe everyone doesn't do this. We got the best product on earth. Like, why would anyone not join if they get a getaway when they sign up? Like, why wouldn't someone do this at the end of the presentation? I'm like, damn, I feel sorry for anyone who said no tonight, right? And I'm on fire. Why? And I may have felt like crap before the presentation. I did one a few weeks ago. I remember going into the presentation and I didn't want to be there. I was like, I had so much shit going on. I was like traveling, about to go somewhere. It was like the night before, and I was like, I still need to pack. And I went in, I was in a terrible state going in. At the end of the night, I was like, thank God I did this. I'm on fire, signed up the whole room. We're like, man, this is awesome. Totally different. Why? Because I acted myself into a feeling. And here's the reality is we all go through emotional swings, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. The reason why you go through ups and downs is because you're not presenting 3 times a day. If you're presenting 3 times a day, you're not getting down. You're not getting depressed. You're not like, because you're selling yourself every single time. If you'll stay in action, you don't have to worry about these like, oh, well, maybe it's not going to work, or maybe, the grass is greener on the other side, No, the grass is greener where you water it. The grass is greener when you're like, tilling to the lawn, when you're, focused on something that's good, you're excited about it, right? But when you slow down, when you stop, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, maybe I should be doing something else. Maybe, that kicks in. I was doing some coaching with the leader the other day, and they were in one company and it wasn't working, and they went to another company and it worked even worse. like they're like, oh my God, I left this team and then I went to another and I got way less results. Like everything seems so amazing, right? I went and I saw all this, and it just the compensation plan and the product and the this and this, and it was like, man, everything seems so perfect. And this is the second main thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. And this was my coaching to them, is I said, here was the challenge. Your challenge is you're looking for something outside yourself. And as long as you're looking for something outside yourself, you'll never find it. As long as you're looking for something outside yourself, you'll never find it, because there really is no such thing as external power. So it's great to get filled up externally. It's great to be on calls like this. You should. I do it. It's why I read books. It's why I watch YouTube videos. It's why I go to events. It's why I'm filling myself all the time. But that's not where the power comes from. If I'm looking for external power, I'm never going to find it. See, the source of power, here's my belief, right? My belief is the source that comes from God. And God's already given you the power. He's already given me the power. He's given Pam the power. He gives it to all of us. The question is, do you really realize that? And because I realize the incredible power God's given me, and when I ask myself, why did God give it to me? I have no idea. I have no idea, other than the fact that he gives it to all of us. So I just decided one time, you know what? I couldn't find anything. I remember seeing my mentor, and he's good looking, and people hang on every word he says, and he's funny, and he giggles, and everyone laughs, and everyone signs up. And I was like, there's so many things I can point to about him that's great, that's powerful. What is it about me? And I'm looking for this thing, and I'm looking for this thing, and I finally got it. I was like, you know what? There doesn't have to be anything. I'm one of the best in the world, and I don't even know why. There's just something special about me. And the reality is there's just something special about you. I don't know what it is, because I don't know what it is for me. I can't point to it. For 20 years now, I've had this thing going on for over 20 years. I don't know what it is. It's just I decided that God gave me the power, and there's something special about me. What's special is he gave it to me. And so I don't need to look elsewhere. And as long as I'm looking elsewhere, if I'm like, oh, if I just had a mentor like Pam, then I could be successful. Even if you have a mentor like Pam, Pam's not the one that makes you powerful. I can't make you powerful. I don't have the ability. The only person who makes you powerful is God. It's you realizing that power. It's you stepping into the power that you already have. That is when you really receive it. That's when you can lead like the most powerful person you can possibly imagine, where your success is absolutely unquestionable. There's no doubt you're going to make it in life. There's no doubt you're going to hit your goals because you know you already have it. So my friends, stop looking for external things. I remember for so long, it was like I was in different network marketing companies, and it was like, it was always, I didn't have the right product. I didn't have the right compensation plan. I didn't have the right mentor. I didn't have, even when I met my mentor, I worked with, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. And all of a sudden he kind of started ghosting me, right? He started kind of ghosting me. And I was like, I immediately went to like, oh, this is not going to work. And thankfully, I had enough knowledge. I'd studied enough to realize it's not him that's going to make me. I'm going to make me. And as long as I'm expecting someone else to make me successful, I'll be looking forever. It's always going to elude you. You're going to be searching the rest of your life, looking for something externally to create your internal power. You already have the internal power. Bring it out this year. This is the biggest piece of coaching I can give you is this year, stop looking externally and step into the power that you have. Because I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what your experience is. I don't care if you've struggled in communication, if you're pretty, if you're ugly, if you're like, I don't care. None of that really matters. There was one of my coaching clients. I do a group call once a week with, they pay about $6,000 to do a call with me once a week, right? And I'm happy for that. And there's a lady who came in, and I'll just tell you, like, you'd look at her and you'd go, nothing special. Not a great communicator, scared of her own shadow, won't look you in the eye on Zoom, that kind of like, oh my God. And she just finally, after, I mean, it probably took 8-9 months, but she's crushing it in her business. And she shows up and she's so beautiful. And it's not her looks that make her beautiful. It's just like her energy and her presence is so beautiful and so powerful. And it's like, fills my heart, because over the years, I've seen so many people have that same transformation where they come into a situation and they can't see it in themselves. And it takes a while, and you fight yourself, this internal struggle, like, oh, I know, like, I'm not saying I can do it. I believe in God, and like, this is all true. But like, you hold on to this identity. You hold on to your excuses. You hold on to your limitations, and when you'll finally stop holding on to the shit that doesn't serve you anymore and step into that power that you have. So even though you feel like you're a bad communicator, you do it anyway. Even though you don't feel like you have the confidence, you do it anyway. Even though you feel like you're not as good as other people, you're not as good looking as other people, all that, you just do it anyway. And you show up and you're like, man, before I couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel, and now I just like feel like the light is blinding me. It's so clear. There's no doubt I'm going to succeed massively. That's when you do. And so, my friends, step into that power. This is your year if you'll make it your year. What's going to be different than the years before? You're not going to look for something external to create your internal reality. You're not looking for something external to create your internal power. You have it. You pull it out on a very regular basis. You put your goals in front of you. You get semi-obsessed with the goals. My income goal, I've had it where I see it every single day. Multiple places. It's in my car, it's in my office, it's in my bathroom mirror. I see it all the time. It's on my planner. I see it all the time. I get a little bit obsessed with it. And the people who achieve Their goals are the ones who really get obsessed with their goals. So get obsessed with your goals. Get obsessed with creating that reality. Make sure you're not asking yourself the wrong question. If you're saying, why am I an idiot? Your subconscious mind goes to look for an answer. You don't want an answer like that. When you ask a negative question this year, this becomes your pattern this year. If you ask a negative question, you flip it around and you ask a powerful, empowering question. Why am I such a genius? Why am I such a leader? Start asking those questions. And before you go to bed at night, start asking, like, why am I a multimillionaire? Why do people flock to me? Why am I such a powerful communicator? Why am I insert something powerful? Go to bed having your subconscious search for that. Wake up in the morning and start asking, like, why am I going to have an amazing day? Why am I going to create success today? Why am I going to be powerful today? And start asking those questions. And what happens is you'll find the answer. So this year, it's about you finding the answer and doing something you've never done before. So excited to be on the journey with you guys. Love you. Looking forward to seeing what comes from this weekend. I know we're going to light things up on Saturday. And we've got our next major event coming up next month. So it's going to be a fun ride this year. Love you guys. Thanks so much.
Love you more. Thank you so much. You guys, the chats are blowing up. Thank you so much, Matt. This was absolutely amazing. Very much needed. Looking forward to seeing you at the next event. And secretdirectevents.com, guys, for those of you that are not registered, again, show some love to the greatest of all time. Absolutely adore you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. Blessings at this SRT, and see you soon. Thank you, guys. Breakfast has officially been served for dinner. Appreciate you guys being here. And thank you again, Matt, for blessing us beyond belief. Greatly appreciate all of you guys. And thank you for tuning in. Great night. God bless.
Good night, everyone.
Fire.